All right, we're going to go into how to find products to sell on Amazon and how to source those products. Products are the most important thing about selling on Amazon and making sure that you validate the product before you just pick a product, purchase, and start to sell it. So let's go ahead and dive into that. So first we go to Amazon.com. A lot of times I'll come over here to all, and I'll search in new releases, mover and shakers, or over here in Amazon Launchpad. One area I really like though is the new release section. So I'll come in here and these are going to be newer listings of people's that are doing really well. Normally they'll have low review counts. And so it's a really good way to find products or find products to improve. So when scrolling through here, I'll look for different kinds of trends. I'll look for like similar products. I'll look if like multiple people are selling the same products, and that will help me to get product ideas. And right here, I mean, right off the start, you can see this, they're little lights for your Crocs or your shoes. Looks like it says headlights for shoes. And, you know, a lot of times I'll look in the kitchen category, just because a lot of those things are ungated. Gated just means that it's a category that's locked and you have to have approval to sell within that category. So you want to find products that you don't have to go through the approval process, because that can take a while and sometimes you may not get it. One example would be dietary supplements. You can't just get on and start selling supplements. It takes approval, and that can take a lot of work. I mean, they're going to want multiple invoices showing paid invoices, inventory, all kinds of stuff like that. It has to be a legit manufacturer and a manufacturer that, you know, they approve essentially. And the manufacturer has to have like GMP certifications, FDA, be an FDA registered facility. So there's a lot you have to go through. It's just easier to pick categories that you don't have to get approval. But anyways, so if we come back in here, I mean, you can keep scrolling through. You can look at the different items that you can see. I mean, these are beauty products. Sometimes you can find good products in there, but it could require approval again. Office products, those are normally pretty good. You know, calendars, stuff like that. But you also want to find products that aren't seasonal. The reason why is if it's something that looks like it's going to sell during Christmas and not the rest of the year, like an example would be an ice scraper for your windshield on your car. What's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of sales during the Christmas season or when it snows, winter, but then after that, it's just going to die off. So you want a product that will last year round. This looks like a great product idea. We'll go ahead and look into this. You can see the review counts are low. You want the average review count under 200. I mean, you got one with 139, 57, 5, and 36. So that doesn't worry me as much. When you scroll over, I mean, I'm still finding more. That just means it's a great product that's selling right now. Now, that could change quickly. So sometimes you want to improve the product if the market gets too saturated too quick, but this is a great way to find different products. So once I've found a product, I'll actually search it on Amazon. So headlight for shoes. How I found that is you just look at the title. So you could do croc lights for shoes. There was another one over here, headlights for Crocs, headlights for shoes, shoe lights. So you want to pick one of those keywords or phrases that people use to find this product. So a keyword would be, you know, headlights for shoes, shoe lights, Croc shoe lights. Those are keywords. So you want to pick one of the keywords and search it on Amazon. You can do it in a different tab or however you want to do it. And then when you scroll down, you want to make sure the search has them. So I can see it here. Now it is pulling in these headlights, which aren't the same, and that's totally fine. You just want to make sure that most of the searches is what you're looking for, which would be the shoe lights. So you can see here, there's more shoe lights. I scroll down, more shoe lights. Now, if you have a tool called Jungle Scout, this will pop up. It'll show you the details. I have Jungle Scout and Helium 10, so then you can see the results there as well from both tools. But what you want to do is Helium 10, I actually use quite a bit, but you can download the web extension for free, and you come in here, click it, and click X-Ray. Now, X-Ray is going to actually break down the product and tell you how profitable it is, the average selling price, if it's a good product, and they base it off the data. So, you know, you don't want to just pick a product that you think would sell well. You don't want to be like, oh, everyone bought this during Christmas, it's a great product, because a lot of times that may not be, and it may be too competitive. So you want to look at the data to know if it's a good product or not, which, like I mentioned, you want under 200 reviews on the average review count. You want to be within the, I would say, $20 to $60 price mark, or $50. That's kind of the sweet spot. Anything above that, you're kind of getting into the premium price. And so people really kind of think or question if they want that item or not. When you're in that lower price point, a lot of people are kind of like, it's $20, I'll try it. But you want to make sure you're making a profit on it too. So pick a good product. Your product's going to be key. So if you come in here and look, it's actually going to break it down, show you the ASIN number of the product, the brand, the sales price, how many sales they're getting per month, and it'll have it in a graph, and the average revenue. So you can see here, I mean, those are the headlamps. You want to scroll down and look at the Crocs, which it may not always give you the data. So this is a great example to show you that. Yeah, you can see it's showing revenue 0, but that's definitely not the case. It's probably just because it's a brand new product on Amazon that people are selling. Either way, the average BSR. So the BSR is your bestseller ranking. Now, the lower the BSR, the better. So if you have, let's say, 100,000 BSR on average, that could, depending on the category, that could mean 5 sales a week. It could mean 7 sales a week. I mean, if you have a 20,000 BSR, that could result in 100 sales a day. It really depends on the category. I've done a lot in dietary supplements, so I've had a BSR as low as about 20 to 60, and that was selling 1,200 units daily. This category is different. I mean, at an 86,000 BSR, that could be 1 a month. We really need these revenue numbers to be able to determine that. But we're going to move forward with this and just keep looking at the product because I'm showing it to you as an example. But you can see here, here's the products. You would check on the revenue, make sure that it has revenues. I mean, I would say revenue 20,000 or below. If it has higher, that's great. Just make sure it's not as competitive with the review count. And once you've checked that, you can come here and look on the search volume, and you can actually filter this to all time to see if this is a trending product only during certain times of the year. So it might be a product during winter that more people purchase. And from this, I mean, you have a spike, it looks like around December to January, February, which happened again here. So to me, that may be a seasonal product. It may not. When you have a slow trend going up, that typically just means it's gaining more search and demand. So it's kind of a category that's growing. But if it has big spikes like that, to me, that's more seasonal. So you definitely want to check that. If you're using Helium 10, you can actually look in Google and Walmart to see what the trends are there as well. Once you have done this, you can go to Helium 10 if you'd like as well, just to do one more check. You can go into Tools, and you can actually look in Black Box. Black Box is going to be their tool to find profitable products. And you would come in here, and I like to do the advanced. You can pick the category. You don't always have to. The reason why it's good to pick this category is sometimes it filters results, and you get hundreds of thousands of results or thousands of results. So by selecting the category, that can narrow it down to what you're trying to look for in here. In do is on price point. I'll do $20 up to 50 is my max. Review count, I want a max of 300 or below. If you want to search products that are just not doing as well on Amazon that maybe you can improve and sell, those are great products as well. And this is where you would put that in. So you would say, I want an average review count of 3 stars. The reason why is that means people are leaving bad reviews. You can then read the reviews to figure out what to improve on your product to then sell and take over that market. So that's another great way to find products, but we're not going to do that right now. Monthly revenue, if you're looking for a specific monthly revenue of like let's say $40,000 to $70,000 a month, that's probably going to be more competitive. I don't do that. And typically that's all you really need to do is put in a price point, review count, and category. Once you've done that, you can filter it, and it's going to start giving you products as product ideas. which you can see here. These are going to be the products that match your criteria. So you don't want to come in here and look for anything that's name brand like RVCA, something that's big, that is a big brand out there. The reason why is they've protected the brand, and you're not trying to sell their product. You're trying to build your own products that you can sell. So you would want to scroll through here and look for different product ideas. I mean, eventually I probably would find the croc lights or the shoe lights if I spend enough time, but that's a great example of how to also verify it in there. Now, one other thing you can do here is if you don't use Helium-10, you can actually use Jungle Scout. Both of the tools are great. I tend to use Helium-10 more because I have a lot more tools I use in there. So I'm just in there more. Now, one thing to pay attention when you have Jungle Scout or Helium-10 is that when it does have all those headlamps, you may want to filter them out. So if you can see here, my results start at 6 because I removed all those headlamps, so I wouldn't get the data of those, which don't really apply to the shoe lights. You can see the average revenue is 178,000 with 4,000 monthly sales average sales price point of $21.50. That is not correct because we saw it earlier. There's not many products with reviews. Which, I mean, if it's off, you can come here and look and verify it. This one right here, I mean, $14,000, that's kind of throwing it off. And it's a headlamp. I missed one. So you want to go ahead and hide that. Let's just check again real quick. And to hide it, all you do is you click this box and you click hide row. And that will remove it. So then the data doesn't show in here. Here's a headlamp. So there's 2 more right here. You click and do hide rows. There's a hat. I would remove that. Headlamp. Safety running lights. It's not the same product. Chest light, not the same product. That looks like a belt light, not the same product. We're not selling Crocs. I mean, sometimes this can take a minute, but you definitely want to take the time to do it because it's going to break down the data to really know if this product is a good seller or not. Awesome. So once I've done that, hide the rows. You can see the numbers here. That still has not gone down. So what you can do is you can come in here and look. At review counts, we're not selling Crocs. So we got to remove Crocs. That's another Crocs right there. We're not selling Crocs. If it's hard to determine, you can also scroll over and just look at the review count. I mean, Crocs are going to be a higher review count because they've been around for quite a while. Now, here's something as well. If you find products like this, which are similar to the product you're trying to source and sell, you do want to keep these ones in there. The reason why is it's a similar product, so the keywords and everything in the data is going to be similar. I mean, you're not selling Crocs, so you got to remove Crocs. You're not selling a light for, your chest or your belt or whatever, so you want to remove those. But if it's a shoe light, that's great. Keep it in there. It's going to take me a minute to go through all this, but you can see here you've got high demand with low competition. A 7 is an okay product. I mean, I try to go for an 8 or higher if possible, but it's not always possible. We're just doing this as an example product, so we'll keep moving forward. Once you've validated that this product is something that you want to source, I take that over to Alibaba. When you get to Alibaba, you want to search what you're looking for. So it'd be like headlight, or no, that's going to pull up a lot of headlamps. Let's do shoe light. Now you got to remember what sellers in Alibaba list may not always match up when it comes to the keywords or how you search it. Do remember that, these people are foreign, so sometimes they can use different phrases or words differently than we do. So if you're not finding your product right off the start with shoe light, you might want to search like light for your shoes, headlight for your shoes, headlamp for your shoes. You just want to do a bunch of different variations until you can find that product. You can search it in verified manufacturers. I like to do it in all because it gives you everything. And right now, these are charms for your Crocs. We got little lights, shoes, see all of this stuff. So then you can see here, shoe light is what they're doing, which is actually what I searched. But let's see if there's any other keywords they put in there. Okay, headlights for Crocs. Let's try that one and see if we get better results. There you go. Now we're getting headlights. Here we go. So here's one. It looks like it's the LED night safety lamp. Again, they use lamp instead of like a flashlight, headlight, or just light. They put lamp. Now, it looks here like this seller sells as low as 3 pieces or units of the product, and it's $1.87. That does not include shipping normally, so you want to touch base with your supplier. So the best thing to do from here is to find which suppliers that you want to work with. So you want to find ones that have a good review rating. Like this one right here, they only have 41 reviews, which is kind of 50-50 on if they're going to be a good supplier or not. But people who are rating them says they're giving good service, they're on time with their delivery most of the time, and their product quality is pretty good. So that might be one supplier that you want to test. So what you would do is you'd reach out to the supplier and say something like, hey, I'm looking to source this product. I want to know what your minimums are. I'm looking to order, I would say like maybe 100, 500, 750, and 1,000, and just get pricing on all of those ahead of time. And give them your address of where you want it shipped to, and just ask for, you know, what it would cost to get 100 units. Remember, you have 2 shoes, so you need 2 lights. So if you're only ordering 100, that's really only 50 orders. So when you're looking at either Black Box, Helium-10, Jungle Scout, you want to see what the average sales are for that product. So this one right here is only selling 30 a month, but this one's selling 2,095, and this is selling 1,620. So I'm not saying go buy a bunch where you have 1,500 units in stock, which would mean you bought 3,000 units. You might want to start with like 500, where that's 250 orders. The reason why is because it could take up to a month to get it into stock on Amazon. And so if you launch your product and it starts to sell really well and you run out of inventory, that really hurts your listing. And it's almost like Amazon doesn't trust the listing, and you have to build that back up. So you definitely don't want to run out of stock. At the same time, you do not want to buy so much inventory where if the product didn't work out, because it may not always work out in your first product, but if it doesn't work out, you don't want to be stuck with 3,000 of these at your house trying to give them away as gifts. I mean, most Amazon sellers, when you talk to them, they have done that. I did it when I started. I bought a bunch of party supplies and sold a bunch, and then it just didn't work out, and I was stuck with 600 units. So it was about $5,000. That was not fun. So I then pivoted and tried some other products, and they did really well. I mean, I tried a dietary supplement, did $47,000 in sales per day. I've done other products. I've consulted other companies and lots of students. So I've seen it all. Really what it comes down to is you want to verify the product with the data to know what to sell. You don't want to just pick something you think that sells well, check the data. And that's how you can make sure you're picking the right products. So what I do when I'm on Alibaba is I will find about 3 to 4 different suppliers that I feel like fit the criteria of someone I'd source from. So this would be one for me. And then I would keep going down the list, and I would say, okay, they only have 19 reviews. That's so. This one has 417. So this is definitely one I would reach out to. They are a little bit more expensive on shipping. I don't always pay attention to this because it's not always accurate. That could be that they're just saying, hey, if you order 2 pieces, which is one unit, we'll ship it to you, but it's going to cost you $13 in shipping. When you're buying in bulk, that price does go down significantly. And the smaller lightweight items like this, are a whole lot less to ship. This could be, I don't know, from China, it could be 75 cents a unit to ship from China to the US. Whereas when I was selling party supply kits, those were 2 pounds a kit because it had so much heavy stuff in there, and it was paper products essentially. So those are bigger bulk, and they're really bulky, and they had to ship in bigger boxes. And so it was really expensive on shipping. I was $9 a unit on shipping for those. Definitely recommend small, lightweight, but all products are great. I mean, I sell cell phone holders that I get for $1.60, and they cost me another $1 to ship to the US, and they sell for $30 a unit. So there's a lot of great products out there, but I would reach out to 3 different suppliers. This might be another one. They've got 99 reviews. Seems like the 4.8 range is kind of the average. Oh, but one thing, when you see here, his on-time deliveries are 4.6. Now, I'm not saying a 4.6 is bad. 4.6 is actually pretty good. But if you're seeing them down the 4, low 3s, middle 3s, you might want to, take that in consideration. They're going to sell you the product and then turn around and not ship it to you on time, where they're going to come up with excuses saying, hey, we're behind on manufacturing. It's going to be another 2 weeks. Do you want to work with a supplier like that that's going to continually do that? Because when you go to reorder, you might be down to a time crunch and you have 45 days to get it in stock. It takes 30 to get to Amazon, and all of a sudden your supplier delays it 3 weeks. Now you're out of stock, and it hurts your listing and your overall sales. So make sure you pick the right supplier, because that can, over the long run, really, really help you out. And sometimes those suppliers have different benefits. You can talk to them about ordering more inventory and only shipping in a portion, because Amazon does have limits on brand new seller accounts. All things to take into consideration, which we talk about in the course Seller Academy. But you would go through, find a handful of suppliers, reach out to them, and start sourcing the products. Now, the next thing you want to do once you find 3 suppliers, 4 suppliers that you definitely want to work with, is you would turn around and order 1 unit as a sample from each of them. And then you want to wait till you get that product, verify that it's a good quality, verify the packaging, how it was shipped to you, everything, shipping speed, and just see which one's best. Because sometimes one supplier uses a different type of plastic, which is cheaper, or maybe one supplier on the front of these uses glass and one uses plastic, and the glass one broke. Even though it looked better, it broke in shipping. So those are things you want to consider. Maybe this supplier right here you order and it came with dead batteries, or maybe one didn't have batteries to make it work. Those are all things you want to consider, and is why you would order samples before placing a bulk order. All right, a couple more things that you want to be aware of is when you're looking at the listing of the supplier. So sometimes they'll have the quantities and breakdowns, but you can look at the verified supplier information to know how many transactions they've done. Like, are they a big company? How fast do they respond to you in message? You can also private label the products. So you might want to reach out to that manufacturer and ask them if you can have your logo put on the products, which I definitely suggest doing that. Always get in the habit of always having your label on the product. The reason why is because then you can apply for brand registry and other programs in Amazon down the road to protect your brand. If you do not, other people are selling a similar product. That means anyone could source the exact same product and sell it on your product listing because you don't have a brand name behind it. But like, let's say on this little white one, if you were to put, your logo printed on it right here, then people can't knock that product off and take over your sales on your Amazon listing. So definitely make sure that you talk to the manufacturer about getting your brand or your logo put on the products, and get all that information ahead of time before picking your supplier. Couple more tips. You can ship it by air or by sea. By sea, it's going to take about 30 days to get it, maybe a little bit longer. If it's by air, it could be 7 to 14. But by air is going to be 3 to 4 times more expensive than shipping it by sea. So you have to determine how quickly you really need to get the product in stock. If it's something where you're running out of stock and you're already selling on Amazon, you might choose doing it by air one time just to get it in stock before you run out, because that could hurt your listing. But in most cases, when I send my initial product to Amazon, I do it by sea just to be able to make sure that I get the lowest price possible and get it into stock and see how that runs. Now, one thing you can do to make sure that your product has enough profit margin is you can You can search on Google for an Amazon profit calculator, which will look like this. So what you can do is you can take the ASIN number of an Amazon listing, which I'll grab here. Perfect. So you can take a Amazon listing and you can click into it. So I'll grab an Amazon listing here. I'll scroll down till I find the ASIN number within the product details. So you want to copy that over, take it over to the revenue calculator and search it. This is going to bring up the product, make sure that it matches, which it does, and it will show you the information about the product, like how much does it weigh, what's the size of the product, what kind of category was it in, how many offers is on that listing, like how many people are selling on that product listing. It'll show you the star rating, the price point, everything. So then what you can do is you can come down here and plug in the information to see if your product will be profitable and that you have enough margin. I try to do at least 3 times what I source it for, if not more. But I mean, the best thing to do is to come in here and plug in the exact numbers so that you can see how profitable it will be. I take out the your fulfillment because you're not going to be fulfilling it. You're trying to have Amazon fulfill it. So like, let's say you got the product and you're going to sell it for $18.99. You're going to pay $3.84 in Amazon fees. There's a referral fee of $2.89, a closing fee of 99 cents, which they charge $1 per listing unless you have a professional seller account. When you're doing your own brand registered products, you're going to want a professional seller account. You can't use a personal seller account for that. The reason why is personal seller accounts can only sell products that are already on Amazon. They can't create new product listings or new products to sell on Amazon. So you have to have that professional seller account. Now the fulfillment costs are going to be $4.03. You would come in here and say the average inventory is units sold. That's like, let's say we sell 250 of these a month. Oh, sorry, right here, 250 of these a month. Let's say you have about 200 units in stock at all times. Your costs, let's say it was $2, and it cost you an additional 25 cents per unit to ship it into Amazon. If you did 1,000 of the, no, not 1,000, let's say you did 100 of these, you sold 100 of these every single month, you're going to have a net profit of $886.72 with a 46% profit margin. And here's going to be your cost per unit. So that can help you break down the product to make sure it's profitable before sourcing the actual product. So that's how you find and source products to sell on Amazon.